The conference room fell silent after the sound of the slap. Papers fluttered to the floor, the projector light still flickering on the wall behind them. Nia stood frozen, her cheek burning, her eyes locked on the man who'd just hit her boss in front of everyone. Her boss, Mr. Caldwell, wasn't the one bleeding, though. The wound ran deeper, invisible through Nia's chest, where humiliation and rage had tangled into something unbearable. 10 minutes earlier, the meeting had been about a promotion. Now, it had become a stage for everything Nia had fought to rise above. "Calm down," Caldwell barked, straightening his tie. "You're overreacting." "Nobody meant anything by it." Nia stared at him, trembling. "He called me—" "I heard what he called you," Caldwell interrupted, glancing nervously at the other executives. "Let's not make this into a scene," but it was a scene. The words "you people" still echoed in the room, thick with disgust. The man who said them, Todd from finance, sat back in his chair, smirking like he'd just told a joke that everyone else was too sensitive to understand. Her heart pounded. She wanted to scream, to demand someone, anyone, to stand up for her. But all she saw were lowered eyes, crossed arms, and that awful corporate silence that protected comfort over conscience. "Do you want to lose your job over a misunderstanding?" Caldwell said, voice soft but loaded. Nia blinked. That was it. That was the moment her breaking point became her beginning. "Misunderstanding?" she whispered. "You're asking me to swallow hate and call it professionalism?" Caldwell's jaw tightened. "Nia, let's take this offline," but she didn't move. For the first time in her career, she didn't hide her anger behind a polite smile. "No," she said. "Let's take it online." Her phone was already recording. She hadn't planned it, but instinct had told her to hit record the moment Todd's tone shifted. Now, the whole confrontation sat in her palm, waiting to be seen. Todd lunged forward. "You can't post that." "Watch me," Nia said, voice shaking but certain. She walked out of the conference room, past the interns pretending to type, past the HR poster that said "Diversity makes us stronger." By the time she reached her desk, her tears had started. She pressed upload. The video spread faster than she expected. Within an hour, the office was whispering. By the next morning, it was everywhere. The clip showed it all. Todd's slur, Caldwell's dismissal, the dead silence that followed. It wasn't just a workplace incident anymore. It was a mirror held up to corporate America. Nia sat in her car in the parking lot, scrolling through comments. Some were supportive, others venomous. Maybe she provoked him. People are too sensitive these days. He didn't even say it that bad. Her hands shook, but she kept reading. Because buried in the noise were messages that mattered. "Thank you for speaking up." "That happened to me, too." "You're not alone." By noon, the company issued a statement. Todd was suspended. Caldwell was under review. HR sent an email reminding everyone of their commitment to diversity. It felt like too little, too late. That evening, Nia sat alone in her apartment, the city lights flickering through the blinds. She had risked everything, her job, her peace, for truth. But truth, she realized, always came with a price. Her phone buzzed. It was her mother. "I saw the video," her mother said softly. "You did the right thing, baby." Nia swallowed hard. "It doesn't feel like it." "It will," her mother replied. "Change never feels right when it starts. It feels heavy. It feels lonely. But you just made space for someone else to breathe." Those words stayed with her. 2 weeks later, Nia was called back to the office. HR asked her to discuss next steps. She half expected to be fired. Instead, she walked into the same conference room where it all began. This time, the tone was different. Cameras were set up, reporters waiting outside. The company's new statement was about accountability, and they wanted Nia to speak. She didn't want their spotlight. But she took the microphone anyway. "I'm not here to destroy anyone's career," she said, voice calm. "I'm here because silence protects the wrong side of history. If my story makes one person speak up when they're treated less than human, then it's worth it." The room was silent again, but not with guilt this time. With reflection, when she finished, the CEO stood up, clapped slowly and said, "We failed you. Nia, we're going to do better." She didn't believe every word, but she hoped at least some of them were true. Months passed. The video faded from trending lists, replaced by new scandals, new heartbreaks. But for Nia, everything had changed. She started mentoring young interns, mostly women of color, teaching them how to speak without shrinking. One of them, a shy girl named Amber, pulled her aside one afternoon. "I saw your video before I started working here," she said. "It made me believe I could make it too." And just like that, Nia knew she hadn't fought in vain. Sometimes the victory isn't in the apology. It's in the echo, the change that ripples quietly through others. That night, as she left the building, she caught her reflection in the glass doors. Tired eyes, steady heart. She smiled. "They can't erase what I stood for," she whispered to herself. "And I'm just getting started."